Good evening, and we're going to get started here very shortly. Actually, we're going to get started in about 16 minutes, 15, 16 minutes, with Wednesday, Mandy Jo. All right. Okay. So we are going to get started at 8 o'clock. I know this is early, and I purposely log on early so that I can invite people. I encourage my friends that do Facebook Lives to log on a little bit early and invite directly from your live event. And with this, Facebook will also automatically play your video. And when you go on ahead of time, it gives people a chance to actually respond and see that your video is playing. So I'm going to go through, and I am inviting people. And when you join me, if you could please let me know where you're joining me from. That would be awesome. I am in the great state of Michigan. Weather today is actually pretty decent. It's actually short weather. And in the 80s, sometimes sunny, sometimes rainy. But today is Wednesday, and we are going to get going with this. I absolutely love my Wednesdays. Today's topic, Mandy's book, of course. And I'm going to update you on the status and what else is going on. And for those that didn't know that I was writing a book, you will know now. So I'm going on my phone and inviting people. On my Facebook Live, on my phone, I have an option to invite, and I purposely come on early so that I can hit all of these little invite buttons. So that everybody knows that I am going live. Live and in person from the great state of Michigan. The Mitten. Wednesdays with Mandy Jo. Yes, I know, I'm being silly. But what I wanted to talk about right now is that for those that want to do a Facebook Live, aren't quite sure how to go about doing that, I have a lot of friends that do their Facebook Lives only via their phone. I have some friends that do their Facebook Lives via their desktop or laptop computer. I happen to have, my setup is a Microsoft Surface, which is a combination laptop tablet, and I have a secondary screen that I use, and I use my cell phone. My cell phone I use so that I can see real time when people comment, and also so that I can go through here and do this invite, because it's a lot quicker doing it on my phone than on my second screen. So we are going to talk about Mandy's new book. In general, what is the book about? Well, walking, of course. So I am going to continue down this little path of inviting people. And it's a great way to invite all kinds of people. few things. When you do your Facebook Live, I typically shut the doors and make sure the windows are closed, just so that you don't hear your neighbors, any outside noises. Being in an apartment, you really don't have too much control over how much noise your neighbors make. So we just close the door and make it a lot easier. So we've got about 10 minutes here. So for those that have joined me, please go ahead and type in the comments where you are joining me from. That would be awesome. And feel free to invite any other people you think might be interested in a book on walking. And it's not your typical book. So I know I've read a whole bunch of different training books on walking and the rest. I can guarantee you one thing, my walking book will never end with, okay, now you can run. Because that is one thing that I saw that was a common theme, that I've met lots of people through the years, and a lot of your walkers have no desire to run. So if typically people that want to run or take up running, you don't get too many people. There is the occasional person that switches back and forth, but typically you have your runners and you have your walkers. The only time I've seen people switch from running to walking is if they've been injured. Also, I've seen very few go from walking to running. I have seen a few, but very few. But I just want to invite people. And we got about 9 minutes. So you have time to go grab a beverage and grab a snack, come back, relax, enjoy. And we are going to get started in about 9 minutes. For those that are just joining, what I am doing is I am inviting people on my cell phone. That's why I'm looking down, trying to hold it up as close to the camera as possible. But we have Wednesdays with Mandy Jo, and we are going to get started at 8 o'clock. Topic is going to be my book. I encourage you to let me know where you are joining me from. That would be awesome. I'm going to continue down this line of let's invite everybody. The more the merrier. Feel free to invite your friends, tag them in the comments, share this on your timeline. I much prefer people sharing it on their timelines rather than groups, because some groups don't allow that, and I don't want you to get in trouble. So I encourage sharing on your own timeline, because what you put on your timeline is up to you. And I highly encourage you to join me. These Wednesdays with Mandy Jo happen every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And I always put this on a few minutes beforehand so that I can go through and invite, because it's a lot easier for me to sit here and invite everybody like this way than the other way, than going through and creating a Facebook event, because Facebook events typically have a cap, even though you could invite them to an online event and then you're not worried about space. So you've got unlimited space. And so I don't understand that part about Facebook, but that's okay. I don't need to. So I'm going to continue inviting here for a few minutes. going along. And today's topic is going to be about my book. My book is about walking. And for those that are just joining me, please in comments write where you are joining me from. That would be awesome. And if you happen to be catching this on the recording, please put recording and where you're joining me from. I always like to know those things. There will be a question and answer period, although you can ask questions throughout. I'm good with that. You guys can ask a question anytime. That way, everybody gets their questions answered. And I will be, even if you're on the recording, you're watching this on the recording, I will be answering all questions. You also have the option of sending me an email. But we got about 5 minutes here, so I am inviting everybody know. And then the one thing, I did create a Facebook event. I gotta figure out how I can share this into my Facebook event. I'll do that here in just a moment. No idea how many people I have clicked invite to, so that's always the interesting part. So let me see. All right, post. No, that's not what I want. Share. Share the group. And it doesn't do what I want it to. Hello, Marty. I see that Marty joined me. Greg, Beth, George, Marty. Thank you for joining me. This is Wednesdays with Mandy Jo. Please let me know where you are joining me from. That would be awesome. And we're going to get started here in just a few moments. So we've got about 4 minutes here. I may start just a few minutes early, just because I can. I am going to let's see. Oh, it does do it. Okay. Okay. Now, I actually wrote down my notes for this week. But I sent out a bunch of invites, and I encourage everybody to invite their friends. You can tag them in the comments. You can share it and invite them that way. A variety of ways. Randy got a new glass. It is the Hard Rock in St. Louis hurricane glass. Easy for me to say. And had a nice beverage in there this weekend. This past, I think we went there Thursday. So almost a week ago. Wow, time flies. So, anywho, we are going to get started in just a couple minutes. I think I see lightning. I think that's what I keep seeing. It's been raining off and on here. So, but we are going to get started in just a few moments here. Actually, I'm going to check and see. Okay. Welcome, Scott, and welcome, everybody. This is Wednesdays with Mandy Jo. I encourage you to make comments, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, and let me know where you are joining me from. We are going to get this underway, even though it's shortly about a minute before 8 o'clock. So by the time this broadcasts through, it'll be 8 o'clock. So, let me make sure I'm on the right screen. All right, tonight's topic, Mandy Jo's new book. What is Mandy Jo's new book? Well, glad you asked. It's Adventures in Walking from the Couch to 5K. And what this book is about a divorced mother of twin boys. So the book it references a lot of things I have been through personally, but it is not an autobiography, and all of the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Anyways, the divorced mother of twin boys, I do not have twins, I do have 2 boys, is training for her first 5K walk. And with that, I'm going to take you through, you're going to get to know the main character, whose name is Andrea. Andrea has the twin boys. They are named Carson and Cooper. How did I come about those names? Those names came about, Andrea is a name that I had used back in my high school Spanish class when we needed to make up a Spanish name. And Carson and Cooper I found on the Social Security top 100 names, and for that particular year. And with that, Cooper is a family name, and Carson just happened to go with it. I thought they were cute names. Hi, Jan. Thanks for joining. And with that, you're going to get the fictional story, and you're going to get it'll be a fairly decent sized book. It's gonna you're gonna get to know Andrea along with Carson and Cooper. Carson likes BMX bike, Cooper likes basketball, and NASCAR, which is right along where my boys like things. And you're going to follow Andrea while she gets ready for training. How does she handle homework with the boys? That's what I'm going through writing right now. I've written all the chapters on the actual training. Now I'm going through writing the chapters on how does she handle the different homework. Like what happens when it rains? Where do you go and do training at? Also, it will cover training nights with the groups. It'll include stretching. It'll include how to get ready for your walk as far as shoes and what kind of watch you want and if you want one. Some people just use their phone apps. So I put a lot of information in this first book. It's also going to cover the race expo. Preparing the night before, the time that goes between the race expo and the day of the race. It's going to cover the race day and how does she do? How does she finish? Does she finish? After the race, what happens after the race? It's also going to include her track workout. That will be covered under the group training night, where they go to a track and they work out. They go to various areas which if you're familiar with the Southeast Michigan area, you will be able to recognize quite a few locations. Some of them have been renamed. Although I'm sure that my friends and family from Michigan will be able to figure out where these locations are. Also, a campus workout. One of the things that I used to do in my groups is I would go ahead, and it was the end of the season, end of the training season, and it's hard to get a track at a school. So we would go to a campus, and I would put them through regiment on campus. So to me, it was a lot of fun. Got some natural hills. It was the campus for one of the races, where one of the races started and ended. How did I get this background? I got all of my background information from actually doing this. This is what I've done. I've been a part of a training group, with the exception of this past year. I've been a part of a training group since 2002. So sometimes for a while I was with the Crim training group, and then I moved over to the Brooksy. With being moving locations, it was easier for me location-wise to switch from one to the other, which for those of you that are from out of town and aren't familiar, the Crim is a 10-mile race in Flint, Michigan, and the Brooksy is a half marathon in Rochester Hills, Michigan, that takes place, starts and ends on Oakland University's campus. And I learned a lot with participating in these programs where I was a group leader. I was answering the same questions year after year. I was getting the same questions because I would get new people. And so what I decided to do was I wanted to put a training book together that would encompass these questions that everybody was asking me. But I didn't want it to be here is week 1, and make it basically a pamphlet. Here is week 2, here is week 3. I wanted to put some meat into it. And so I decided to do a fictional story around it so that people could relate to it. And so this book is different from other training manuals in the aspect that it's a fictional story, and at the end, she does not start running. She continues walking. And so I wanted to make sure that with this book, that it would encourage people of different backgrounds. One, letting you know that even if you have kids, that you can get out there and you can walk. If you are divorced, you can still, I put a very positive spin, which actually I was very fortunate and had, it was very easy for me to train with having my boys, because their dad would take them a lot for when I needed to get out and walk. So, and I wanted to make sure and keep that positive aspect, that to show this can be done. You can work together. Things do happen, and things do happen in the book. So it's not all roses. It does, there are times that she's got to figure out, what do I do next, and how do we work with this? And that's what I wanted to showcase too, is that you can help people troubleshoot. Oh no, the kids, he's got to pick them up. Okay, well, have him pick them up at the group. The kids obviously can't go out with the group, but they can, the ex can meet you at the group and he can take the kids. You can take turns, him picking the kids up, you dropping them off. I mean, I went through the different scenarios that I went through, and I wanted to show people that this can be done in I'd like to term it a Hallmark-esque feel-good book, because of course it all turns out. So with that, you know, Hallmark is like, I love Hallmark. So that is where, that's kind of the background of why I wanted to do this book. I want to take a moment here, and I see that we've had Suzette, Dory, Mark, Linda, Lee, and Lisa all join in. And if you guys could let me know where you're joining me from, that would be awesome. So what's next? Okay, you write this one book. What do we, you know, how are we going to get the book, and what happens from here? Well, one, it is part of a series, because it's going to go to, it starts out with her going to a 5K, she's going to do a 10K, a half marathon, and a marathon. Whether it'll expand past 4 books, I'm not sure. Stay tuned. And then what else is next is it will be eventually available in audio, ebook, softcover, hardcover, EPUB. I'm going to create an online program for it, and I want to do live events, both online and in person, speaking events. So if you've got a group of people that want to start out doing a 5K program, I have the training program all set, and I can help you with that. I want to welcome Rachel and Matt. I see they're joining us. I would greatly appreciate it if when you join me that you could, in the comments, let me know where you're joining me from. And I always appreciate the thumbs up and the hearts. Those are awesome. So I wanted to get back to the various areas that we're covering. And this is by far my favorite picture to have up, because it's the cover. Yes, those are my shoes. Yes, that's my watch and my water belt. The book, I just chose a one of the books that I had handy, so that, you know, to represent a book. And behind that is the couch, thus Couch to 5K, and all the items that you need. So next up, what's next? Well, the what's next is what I've covered. This is going to go into the online program. There's going to be an online training program. There's going to be an in-person training program, live events. And if you have a group that would like to start a Couch to 5K program, I would be more than happy to help you get is kicked off in a great fashion. Let's see. Do I have any questions? Oh, I see Scott and Amber join me, and so did Patty. And I always welcome questions. So if you have any questions at all, please type them in the comments, or you feel free to email me with the comments too. You can always send me a Facebook message, or you can email me. How to connect with me. Facebook is real easy, and depending on how you came across this video, this live Facebook Live, you may not realize that it's actually coming from my business page. So that is facebook.com/Mandy Jo 0830. That is for my business page. I also do quite a bit on Instagram. Instagram/Mandy Jo R830. Twitter. Actually starting to get the hang of Twitter. So twitter.com/Mandy Jo 830. LinkedIn. I'm also there too. LinkedIn.com/IN/Mandy Jo. Pinterest. Yes, I'm on Pinterest too. Pinterest.com/Mandy Jo 830. Notice a theme. Yes, I put Mandy Jo in all of it, and 830 is my birthday for all of those that would like advance notice. That's August 30th. So I'm going to go back up to my adventures in walking, and I see that we are at about quarter after, and I wanted to talk more about my book. I wanted to make sure that people knew what this book is about, and it is a beginner book. If you have a group that is looking for a walking book, if you already have a program in place and would like to pass out books as part of your program, please feel free to do this. Once it's published, I will get you the link to actually order them. And with that, you can pass them out to your entire group. Pricing right now, don't know. That will depend on publishing costs. What's in the hurricane glass? Well, it's just Crystal Light Strawberry. But more about my book. When you go through and you've got 13 years, you've been doing this for over a dozen years, and you've met a lot of people, and you've been in a couple different programs. It is great. It was really hard last year not doing a program. Thus what inspired me to do my book. Distance-wise, both of them are a little bit far from me. And so traffic-wise, I'm not a fan of traffic. So that's why I have chosen to go this direction and write a book on walking and encourage people to get off that couch. Go from the couch to 5K. 5K is only 3.1 miles. And it is walking. It is not running, although it could easily be used for running, because the message is the same in that respect, that I want you to get up off the couch, get out the door, get on a pair of shoes, a good pair of shoes, and I do cover in a chapter how to go and get those shoes. Please do not order your first pair of shoes online. Do not get them from Target. Do not get them from Walmart. Do not get them from Payless or any other inexpensive shoe place. And I do cover that in one of my chapters. I highly, highly recommend going to your local running store and saying, hey, I am going to be doing a 5K. I'm training to do a 3.1 mile walk, and you will be put in running shoes. I do not recommend anybody doing the so-called walking shoes. I really laugh at those walking shoes because they are all leather uppers, and 9 times out of 10, they're Velcro. Okay, and that's for when your great-great-grandmother is walking around in her walker. And even then, she's probably more comfortable in a pair of slippers. So I highly recommend going to your local running store, telling them you're going to be doing a 5K walk, and you want a pair of shoes that will fit you properly. Heads up, they are pricey. It is not cheap, but your feet will definitely thank you. You want to have the right footwear. The watch is totally optional. Mine happens to be charging right now, but the watch is totally optional. I personally have gone from, I've had 2 different Garmin's, and a Fitbit. And for a while, I didn't use either, and I just used the app on my phone. So it really depends on what is your budget? 2, do you want it on your wrist, or do you want it tucked away in your pocket? It's really up to you. Depends on what you want. I highly recommend researching them, seeing what fits in your budget. There's a lot of free apps out there. I personally use Runkeeper when I'm not using my Fitbit. That's what I used to use, was the Runkeeper. So there are options. Water bottles. I've had different ones throughout the years. These particular ones are my favorites. Why? Because they're smaller. As you can see there, it's a fairly small sized bottle. They just snap into the holders. And with that, you can have one with just water and another one flavored, or your favorite Gatorade drink or Powerade drink or whatever other powdered, or whatever your energy drink of choice is, non-carbonated. I would never put carbonated beverages in those. For one thing, you're going to be walking, and carbonation and walking, and they still move up and down. So not a good idea for carbonated, but you could put your favorite liquid beverage in there. Do not recommend any alcoholic beverages, just because you're out for a walk, and I personally could never do that. I know on one of the races, there was a corner that they handed out beer. I never partook of that, but I did partake of the donuts when we got to that section. But, make it fun. Don't just go, oh, I've got to go out. Make it fun. If you've got kids, put them, depending on their ages, you can put them in a jogging stroller. My kids never went with me when they were that little. Have them ride their bikes. If they're big enough, take them to the park, have them ride their bikes. I cover that in my book. I also cover what happens when it all of a sudden decides to rain. I've had groups of gals that have looked at me going, we're not walking in the rain. And the race will not be canceled. It will go on. So you're going to want to train in some rain. Now, if you've got kids that you're taking out on your homework with you to get out there, I don't recommend taking the kids out in the rain. But then you have indoor options. Luckily for me in Southeast Michigan area here, just over in Auburn Hills is Great Lakes Crossing. And if you do the right way by going in and out of the various hallways, then you will end up with 1 mile per lap. Of course, then you get to smell the movie theater popcorn and all the food cooking and all that fun stuff. But that's okay. You can have a treat when you're done. And if you're training just for a 5K, that means you only do 3 laps at most, maybe 4. But there's plenty of malls that are still around. There's all the time they are changing up the various old railroad tracks and making them trails. And I know a lot of communities are adding, at least here in Michigan, are adding a lot of trails to get around on foot, on bike. And so you can get out there with the kids, and you can get out and be safe. Few things that I will definitely be covering in the book is You decide to go out for a walk, and it's right about the time that it's getting dark or just before it's getting daylight. Do not wear all black. You need to have bright reflective clothing on. Make sure that your jacket is bright colored. If it's too warm for a jacket, then I highly recommend a reflective vest, a headlight lamp, something that's flashing on your back. You don't want to be dressed in a color that people can't see you. You need to have it reflective. And if, say you're in an area where there are no sidewalks, there are no trails, I understand. You still want to get out there and get going. You need to walk towards traffic. So if traffic is headed southbound, you need to be walking north facing traffic. So yes, the headlights are coming towards you, and be off to the side of the road so that everybody is safe. You know, make sure that you are as far off as you can possibly safely get. Some areas that's more challenging, thankfully in Lake Orion, they added a nice bridged walkway where on this one road that was really dangerous for people to be biking and walking down. So now there's a nice path. And so I highly encourage that. You know, make sure that you are wearing reflective gear. You want people to see you. You want to be going towards traffic. You want to see that oncoming traffic. That way there's no surprises. If you're on a trail, stay to the right. If you are on a bike, please, 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 please let the runners and walkers know that you are coming up behind them. Don't just quickly go out around them, because you will startle them and who knows what happens then. I see a few more people have joined us. Joe and Kelsey and my Uncle Dennis and Bubba, thank you for joining me. Please, in the comments, write where you are joining me from. That would be awesome. I love the thumbs up. I love the hearts. We are talking about my new book, Adventures in Walking from the Couch to 5K. It is a fictional story, but in it you will get the you'll get the training manual, you'll get the exercises. So it is training manual and fictional story all put together around getting people up off the couch and getting them walking. And following the story, a fictional story of a divorced mother of twin boys that is made the decision, saw a commercial, decided that she was going to go do this Couch to 5K program. She is going to get up and get moving. And she has done that very well. I have her, let's see, I have notes. I love my notes. Okay. We do getting ready for training. So that includes getting shoes, getting clothing, where to shop, what to do, how she handles the homework with the boys, with and without the boys, training nights with the group, how does she handle the boys, stretching. I do have stretching exercises, and with those stretching exercises, they will be at the back of the book, and there will be a couple of pictures with the description. And I was very, very fortunate to have a friend of mine that is awesome, and she posed for I took the pictures for all of the exercises. So this is all of the photography in my book will be by me. I do all of my own photography. I don't have somebody else do it. So yes, the cover that you see, I designed it. The picture was taken by me. And that is my water bottle with my carry pouch. I put my cell phone in there. I put my ID in there. Even though on my watch, if you notice on the purple watch that's sitting on the shoes, there's a silver band on it. There's a little bit of silver there. And with that silver, that is a road ID band, for lack of a better word, because it escapes me. But it's by road ID, and it has my emergency contact information on it. It has my name, has my emergency contact. It has, in there, it also has what my allergies are. It has a phone number or a web address that they can access to get more information on all of my details. So in that, you can add 4 or 5 different contacts. You can put all of your medical history so that if it doesn't fit on that little band, you have a place to put all of it. And I think it's very important that even if you don't have that from Road ID, that you do have on you emergency contact information, because if you happen to, God forbid, get hit by a car when you're out there, because trust me, even though it says you have the right of way in the crosswalk, don't trust that they're going to stop unless you're making eye contact and seeing that vehicle stop. Make sure you have some form of ID on you, emergency contact information, and vital information such as you're allergic to a leaf, you're allergic to aspirin, or you're allergic to penicillin. Me personally, I'm allergic to penicillin. I'm allergic to Aleve. So I have that on there. I have asthma. That's an important factor to be on there. I have, anything else? I can't think of anything offhand. Oh, and nut allergy. So in case, for some reason, I happen to have a snack that contained almonds and I didn't know it, which it seems like everything contains almonds these days. But if for some reason I didn't catch it on the wrapper that it contained almonds and I had a severe reaction, an EMT that was reading my emergency information would know that. These responders need to know. So yes, that is my watch. Yes, it is purple. No, my shoes are not purple because I do not choose my shoes by their color. I choose my shoes by how they fit. I highly, highly recommend that you go to your local running store in southeastern Michigan. You've got Hanson's, you've got Running Gear, you've got Runners up in the Tri-City area. You've got, what else do we have? We have, of course, Bauman's Running and Walking Shop in Flint, and we have Complete Runner in Flint. Which in the book, I cover her going to a running and walking store. You'll recognize it. I did take some creative liberties, so there are details in there that aren't really in the store. But I want to make sure that this book covers a lot of detail. I want people to feel confident that they could go out and do a couch to 5K. They could get up off that couch and do a 5K walk. I've heard from many people when you hand them a flyer on a race, oh, I don't run. So I look at them and go, but do you walk? And they'll be like, well, yeah, I guess I could walk. Yeah, you could walk 3 miles. I could help you do that. So what's coming up next with this is it will be available in audio and ebook, softcover, hardcover, EPUB, It'll be created into an online program. I will have live events, both online and in person. And I will have speaking events. So if you have a group of people that want to start off doing a 5K program, great. Contact me and we can do that. And as soon as the book is published, you'll get a copy. We'll get you guys started. It'll be great. So that's part of what's next. Any questions? I haven't had any questions, which I find very unusual. But that's okay. I could have them inbox and I don't know it yet. It's a great thing about inboxes. Okay, how to connect with me. Yes, we're going to go through this once again for those of you that have managed to stay with me this entire time. Most of my stuff is Mandy Jo 830 or Mandy Jo 0830. Facebook, which is where this is through, is Mandy Jo 0830. Instagram is Mandy Jo R830. Twitter is Mandy Jo 830. LinkedIn is just Mandy Jo. Pinterest, Mandy Jo 830. So you have all kinds of ways to connect with me. I love to connect with people. I love interaction, both online and in person. So connect with me on there, send me a message, and I would love to help you get to your 5K goal. Now, this is going to be part of a 4-book series. So she starts with the 5K, she goes to the 10K, the half marathon, and the marathon. So stay tuned. So if there are no further questions, which if you are watching this on the recording, still feel free to put questions in the comments and I will get back with you. I want to thank you for joining me this evening. I've had a great time. I love seeing all these people. It pops up on my phone who's watching, so I love it. So even if you didn't say anything, I could see that y'all were watching. I love it. Love you guys. I am so glad to have you along with me. It's been a great evening, and I will keep you updated on when it gets published. Stay tuned. Bye.